What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Daily Revs. Today we are reviewing the 2025 Genesis G90. Now this thing is absolutely gorgeous and luxurious, and you're probably wondering what the hell is a G90, and it's okay if you don't know what it is, but this is probably the best kept luxury car secret on the market right now. So to start, again, just what the hell is a G90? This thing plays in the same arena as the BMW 7 Series, the Audi A8, Mercedes S-Class, but I liken it to a good diet soda. You get the same flavor, less calories, and that's, to me, that perfectly describes the Genesis G90. You're getting the same luxuriousness and quality as the Germans and, you know, the Japanese with the Lexus LS 500, but you're getting it for less money. And it's crazy that Hyundai can pull this off with Genesis, because when you look in the details of this thing, it's probably one of the best kept luxury car secrets on the market right now. But again, people are going to ask, because I've been asked this many times while I've had this thing over the past week, what is a G90? So to start with what exactly a G90 is, you have to go back in time to about 2016 or so. A couple of years before that, Hyundai had began to sell the Equus. It was the most biggest and expensive Hyundai that you could buy at the time. Debuted for 2009. I think it went on sale about 2011. 5-liter V8, same blueprint as this. Hyundai wanted to go up against the Germans and the Japanese with the big luxury sedan. Equus lasted until about 2016, which is when the Genesis brand debuted. Equus morphed into the G90, the first generation G90. Now, the first generation G90, it wasn't much to look at. It was a step up from the Equus, but styling was super conservative. Like, if you saw it, you probably forget you saw it the day after. It was super conservative, nice, comfortable luxury sedan, but super conservative. It was available with base V6 and V8 engines on upper trim levels. Had all the same goodies inside, you know, massaging back seats, stuff like that. But again, the styling, conservative, you probably forget about it a few minutes after you saw it. This G90 is the second generation. Well, excuse me, the first generation got a redesign about 2018 or so to bring it more in line with Genesis styling at the time. That's when it gained the signature Genesis grille, but it was essentially underneath, it was the same car. This G90 debuted, I believe, for 2022 to 2023 model year, and it's dedicated luxury car from the ground up. So Genesis went in, made a dedicated luxury car from the ground up. You know, they looked at everybody, all the other players on the market, and came up with this striking new generation of the G90, which is you want to play semantics, you know, it could be the second or third generation, but technically it's the second generation of the G90. And like I said, it's all new from the ground up, rising an all new platform. Engines this time around, previous G90s came with, like I said, V6, V8 engines. This comes with two versions of the same V6 engine. So let me get the hood open here. So powering base G90s, 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 that's used in all other Genesis products. So from the G70 to the G80 luxury SUV to the GV80 luxury SUV to the G80 sedan. Puts out 375 horsepower. This engine is unique only to the top trim of the G90 and the GV80 coupe, which I did a review on a couple weeks ago. This is the same engine, twin turbos. There's just a 48 volt electric supercharger bolted onto it. I don't know if you can see that badge here. So the result of that, with the twin turbos, 405 horsepower. Pretty impressive. Some people might want a V8, but if you look at other players in the segment, everyone's downsizing. They're either using turbocharged 6s or 4s So there's not many places where you can find a V8 in this segment anymore unless you go spend big money or get a performance variant. But this thing has plenty of power, 405 horsepower. It's enough to hustle this thing. This thing is huge, 17 feet long, weighs over 5,000 pounds. The engine has plenty of power to get this thing to 60. I think it's just over 5 seconds. And puts the power down with the 8-speed automatic transmission, 4-wheel drive, Hyundai's H-Track 4-wheel drive. You can see the badge here. It also has 4-wheel steering, which makes this thing turn and parking breeze, because it makes this thing handle like a car half its size. So the front, when you turn the front wheels, the rear wheels turn opposite. I think it's about 2 to 3 degrees, might be a little less, but just know that things like parking and U-turns in this thing are it makes it so much easier. Styling, it stands out. I think it looks absolutely fantastic, as does most Genesis designs. Up front, you see the brand signature grille here. What's the first thing that stands out on this car in person is absolutely huge. It's accented by these thin LED headlights. They're DRLs in the daytime. If you look closely, each light is made up of individual squares. There's about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's about 12 to 13 in each of these lighting segments. It looks fantastic with the DRLs on, and they're super bright at night, especially when you put on the automatic high beams. But first thing you notice about this car is how striking the front design looks. Like I said, the grille, some people don't like it. I think it looks great. Along the side here, it's just stately and elegant, especially this rear C-pillar right here. It's a unique looking design, especially when viewed from afar. But like I said, this car is huge. It gives old school American electro barge vibes when you're driving it, but it's 17 feet long. Huge C-pillar here is another striking part of design. You got these rear haunches here. Character line that runs down the length of the car, runs into these dual level LED turn signals. Round back, more Genesis design language, techie looking LED tail lights. This light bar runs the width of the trunk, lights up at night. At the bottom, you got twin exhausts in the same shape as the Genesis grille. Inside is even more gorgeous. Let me go to the passenger side and get a better look. These door handles pop out also. Let me show really quick. They pop out when you approach the car. So when you lock it, oh, the key, I left the key in. But when you lock it, the door handles go flush with the car, and when you approach, they pop out. It's a nice touch. But the interior of this car is just absolutely gorgeous. The spec mine came with white exterior. This is like a chocolate, almost burgundy-ish brown interior. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's accented by this gray wood. On the doors, you can see there's this metal design. That design is on all the doors. I believe it's in the seat backs as well. But just the detailing on this interior is just, everywhere you look is quality. Metal here, metal here. It's all high quality. There's no plasticky or flimsy feeling. And as it should, for the price. This thing, these things started about 85 grand. As spec'd here, this spec with the electric supercharger on the twin turbo V6 is the top spec for the G90. This starts at 100 grand, and as spec is just over 100. It's like 100,490 or something like that. But back to the interior. Let me start it up because it is hot today. Everything you see in here though is really high quality. So here. So like I said, one thing, the interior is gorgeous. One thing I applied Hyundai for is, I think I've mentioned Hyundai and Genesis, I think I've mentioned this before, is that they're actually sticking with physical controls in every one of their cars. Usually when you get to this price point that the G90 plays in, you have huge screens, very little actual physical controls. That's not true in the G90. As you can see here, this pod here houses controls for functions that you'll use all the time. So there's actual physical button for the map and the navigation, radio, media, seek, track selection, setup, physical controls for the climate control. This is a screen, but it's so easy to use. It's touch sensitive. You can control which way you want the airflow to go. Those controls are accented by this rotary dial here that controls selections on the main screen. You can see when you turn the knob, the screen changes. You can make selections. It's something that started years ago. You know, BMW pioneered iDrive. Audi had its multimedia infotainment system. Everyone follows suit. Systems are much better to use now in a lot of cars. A lot of people, a lot of companies do it better than BMW. Genesis is one of them because this is easy to use. It's in no way distracting. So not only can you turn it and make selections on the screen, but you can also use the surface of the dial itself as like a mouse trackpad. So you just drag your finger along like that, like you're using a laptop or something, and you can make selections. You can't tap and select like a mouse. You actually have to press the whole rotary dial down to make a selection. But you can select just by dragging your finger if you don't want to turn the knob. But like I said, these physical controls here are accented by more physical controls here. For there's a rotary dial for the volume that you can also press to turn the audio system on and off, which is top of the line. As you can see here, I think there's like 14 speakers in here. Whatever, it sounds fantastic. It's great. Another rotary dial for tuning. There's back, home, menu buttons here. Most automakers are getting rid of gear shifts. Genesis is following suit. This is another rotary knob for the gear selector here. You turn once for drive, once for reverse, once again in the middle for neutral. Park is the P button in the middle. Auto hold. Heated and cooled seats in the front and the back. I'll get to the luxury features in a bit. I'm just showing the controls. Drive mode buttons. More controls on the steering wheel. This is for you know, driver assistance features and smart cruise control and lane keep assist, stuff like that. It's just a well thought out interior. It's not cluttered. You know, they're showing that you can still have physical controls and have a clean looking interior. I don't know why more automakers don't do that, but another unique design feature is this wheel. Looks great, although I wish they would have done the wood on the door and the dash here instead of more leather. If you look closely, you can see that the shape of this center hub follows the same design as the Genesis grille design. You get a large display here, shows various information. You can even set it to show you a map view whenever it loads. Sometimes it's a little laggy. You can just show your current trip, or you could just have it show the car when it's in this mode. It'll the sensors around the car will show you, you know, if there's a car too close or something like that. There is start and stop in this car. It works great because of the electric supercharger. That means initial starting and start stop mode is smooth and fast, but it can get annoying, especially when you're using the climate control. You can deactivate it here, but the start stop system can get annoying when you use the climate control, because I guess it turns off the condenser or whatever, and when you're using the AC, could get a little humid. Same thing happens in the wintertime when you use the when you're using the heater. Things can get a weird kind of humid. So if you're like me, you want to turn it off, you don't know where to turn it off at, start stop deactivation is over here. Another thoughtful feature in here, cleverly designed wireless phone charger. You just slip your phone down in here and it charges. It's a great place to hold your phone, though I do wish that there was a switch to turn the wireless charger off when you just want to use this as a place to, you know, charge your phone. Another you know, standard armrest here. It's not very deep. There are 2 USB-Cs and a 12-volt charger in there. Now let's get to the luxury features. Let me turn it off because there's so many luxury features here. It's absolutely insane. One of the first luxury features you'll notice is the automatic closing doors. Now, this is the epitome of entitled laziness, but I appreciate the feature because, you know, when you're actually using it, you're like, oh, okay, this is a thoughtful feature. So when you get out the car, you'll press this button to close the door. On the driver's side, it's unique because there's actually 3 different ways to close the door. So once you get in the car, you put your foot on the brake like you're going to start the car. Once you actually press the pedal, the door closes. It's a sick feature. To open the door, you press this control here, you hold it, and then, you know, there's like motorized assist, it opens out. There's more door controls in the center console for both the front and rear. So if you don't actually want to reach over and press the button or pull the door closed, you could just hit this control here for front. It'll close the door. Same thing when you get out, press the button, get out the way, and it closes. It's a really thoughtful feature. All the doors have soft close, so like if you don't actually close it all the way, you know, it'll continue closing it for you. In the back, it's the same feature. You can close it here, or backseat passengers get their own dedicated door closing controls on the center armrest. But like I said, this thing has so many luxury features. It coddles you. You could go to sleep in this thing. It's so smooth and quiet. Heated and cooled seats for the front and back. There are powered sunshades for both these windows on the rear doors. Like I said, a control for the power doors here. The seats are reclining back here. They can be adjusted here. This seat is the best seat in the house. The passengers, the right rear passenger seat, because when there's no one sitting up front, this seat can move forward. This seat fully reclines and the ottoman extends. It pretty much turns the G90 into a limo. It's absolutely fantastic. There's suedes, pillows on the headrest that can be removed, though I don't know why you would do it. They have the Genesis logo, if you could see it there. There are vanity mirrors back here, which is another crazy luxurious feature that I appreciate. Dual pane moonroof, though this is just a glass panel. This one opens. More sound system speakers up top. When this is on, this is a control for all sorts of comfort features back here. You could control the lighting, the radio controls for the whole car. You can there's even control to close the sunshade for the rear sunlight. There's just so many features. There's a wireless phone charger, 2 more USB-Cs back here. This actually folds up out the way if you want to get 3 across. It's just a really comfortable car. There's even a chauffeur mode that makes the ride even more cushy than it already is. It's just a wonderful place to spend time. This is one of those cars that if you're not driving it, it's a car to be driven in. Speaking of the ride, It has four-wheel air suspension. Like I said, it makes the ride so smooth and cushy, so quiet. It's vault-like. I wish I had a decibel reader to get just how quiet this thing is, but it's hushed. If I'm sitting in the front, someone in the back, and I whisper, I guarantee that you could hear me. It's just a sleep-inducing ride. There's a power sunshade here. Trunk space is decent, though it is narrow. Excuse my stuff back here. Rear seats don't fold, of course, but there is a pass-through on the other side of the center armrest for like skis and stuff. There's a cargo net. Trunk is power closing. I thought there would have been a smart feature with this thing, but I tried it out a few times. I stood by it. That doesn't appear to be the case. But yeah, this is just a fantastic luxury car. Like I said, it's one of the best. I think it's one of the best kept secrets on the market. There are a couple of downsides, though they aren't big enough to where it makes this thing terrible. One is the size. Like I said, this thing is 17 feet long, 5,000 plus pounds. Some people, may complain about how it drives because there is a bit of nosedive when you're braking, but like I said, that can be blamed on the fact that it has a cushy air suspension. Also, this is not a sports sedan. If you want something that has a tighter suspension or something, get a G80 Sport or a G70. This is not a sports sedan. This is a cushy luxury sedan in the best sense. Another downside, gas mileage. I wouldn't say it's V8 like, maybe, kind of. I've been averaging about 19-20 miles per gallon around town. If you're not really getting into it, but not cruising either, it could get about 15 or 16. Eco mode on the freeway, it does have an eco mode. I saw as high as 26, and that's going 79, 80 miles per hour in this thing. But my average fuel economy, it could be better, but like I said, it's at least it doesn't have a V8, but fuel economy is V8 like. I'm trying to pull it up here. Let's see if I can put it. See, yeah, I've been averaging 18, almost 18 and a half miles per gallon, which is, it could be better, but it could be a lot worse. I'm kind of wondering if that could get a little better if I activated the start stop, but Hyundai has made it clear, or Genesis has made it clear before, that the supercharger and the start stop system in here is less about fuel efficiency and more about power and throttle response. So, let's ask the $100,000 question, if you will. Should you buy one of these things? I'd say yeah, I'd buy one. After living with it for a week, it's impressive as hell. The fact that Genesis, I keep saying Hyundai. The fact that Genesis is offering all this luxury at prices that's thousands of dollars less than competitors, with 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty on top of that, is actually kind of insane. And trust me, you're coming out thousands of dollars cheaper. If you similarly equipped a 7 Series or a S-Class as, the same as this G90 is spec'd out, you're going to probably be over $130,000 easily. Or, in the case of some competitors like the Lexus LS 500, the G90 has features that other competitors don't offer at all. There are drawbacks, however, that some might not like, such as the fact that you can't get a V8 in this thing. which, like I said, is not exclusive to Genesis. You also can get a hybrid. There is no hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or electric option on this. There might be one for the next generation, who knows? But that is a drawback to this if you're in the market for one, because mostly all the other competitors offer either hybrid, plug-in hybrid option, or electric option. Genesis just makes do with 2 different V6 engines. But like I said, I would buy this. Like I said, you're saving thousands and you're not actually standing out. People are, and I'm not just saying this, this is what I've encountered. People will be looking at you wondering just what the hell this thing is, because it looks great. And not, even though Genesis has been around, it's an established luxury brand now, people still aren't aware what Genesis is. So they're actually going to be looking. If you care about that kind of thing, people are going to be looking, wondering what this thing is. Other than that, it flies under the radar. It's more sedate, subtle than something like a S-Class or 7 Series, which is obvious money. This is obvious money, but it's different. It's low-key. And it's classy. But, so, you know, long story short, should you buy one? Yes. This is one of the best kept secrets on the luxury market. Like I said, you honestly, you can't go wrong with it. You know, the only problem, like I mentioned, the only drawbacks are if you are that kind of brand snob that just has to have that Mercedes star or that BMW, you know, badge on the hood. Or if you want a, you know, an electric option or a hybrid, you won't find that here. Other than that, this is a solid entry from Genesis. It's crazy that this is only the 2nd or 3rd generation of this thing. Kind of makes you wonder what they have planned for, like a refresh, or what they have coming next. But for a brand that, you know, hasn't even been around 20 years to come out with this $100,000 sedan that's, you know, a subtle shot across the bow of the rest of the luxury market and have it be this great is phenomenal. And I'm just giving my honest review of what I've encountered the week that I've had this thing. This is a fantastic car. I would buy it in a heartbeat. But other than that, that is the 2025 Genesis G90. Stay tuned for more reviews coming soon, and thanks for watching.